Good morning. We are here about 20 kilometers odd northeast of Mumbai in the Bhiwandi stretch in Thana district. This happens to be Asia's largest warehouse hub. Something that started as a hub for the textile industry now caters to other industries including logistics, and some of the biggest warehouse hubs are found here in Bhiwandi. So right across the delivery hub, another new multi-channel fulfillment hub is opening up today, and we are talking about FM Logistics, which is all set to launch its grade A multi-client facility built on global standards here in India. In a short while from now, we will be taking a tour of this MCF facility as well as interacting with the senior leadership of FM Logistics, including MD Mr. Ajit Jangle, and get you more insights on why this massive state-of-the-art MCF warehouse will make a difference in the roadmap of FM Logistics India.
FM Logistic is a privately owned company driven by very strong familial values of trust, performance and openness.
In our warehousing business across, we are already certified with the IMS system 45, 18 and 9000, as well as we have got the stringent norms of fire safety systems.
About 82 customers are saying that we want to do it, but then only 12% could able to do it very successfully. What are the advantages or top drivers for them is, of course, the operation efficiency, customer service enhancement, reduction in errors and increasing safety.
We are here at the sprawling MCF facility of FM Logistics India. This is seen as a major step after the company first announced its Powering 2030 strategy. So I have with me the man himself, Mr. Ajit Jangle. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
As an MD of the company, thank you so much firstly for inviting us to your sprawling MCF facility. But just let's rewind the clock and go back to the Powering 2030 announcement that was made, because I believe this is directly linked to your Powering 2030 strategy. So let's start with that.
So if you see the FM Logistics India, our strategy to provide the technology-based value proposition.
Right.
So it is not about only warehousing or transportation or something. I think we understand customer well.
Right.
We have ability to understand pain areas, try to create a solution around it.
Right.
And for that we can add maybe our transportation services, which can be FTL, which can be distribution, warehousing distribution,
right,
which can be inbound to manufacturing, which can be 4PL services, which can be lead logistics service provider. So these are the different services. So
right,
what we do is at first understand the customer, try to see what exactly the solution can we work around, how we can execute it properly, and create value proposition so that customer win in the market.
Right.
So that is what the
tell us, this beautiful MCF facility, how does it match to a facility abroad? You know, we've seen the kind of technology that was spoken of today in European warehouses, you know, perhaps like Hapag-Lloyd and all those big organizations. How does this match up to that, or how big a step is this towards India realizing that kind of a warehouse automation?
So with this 30 years of experience, I traveled more than at least 50 countries globally, including all developed countries.
Right.
And I can possibly confidently share with you that this is sometime at par or sometime surpassing the standards also.
Okay.
So that is about the infrastructure.
Right.
But infrastructure you can buy.
Yeah.
The challenge is that the complexity which we are managing here, that kind of a complexity not there in European or the developed US market also.
Okay.
So the Indian market is very, very complex.
Right.
And this you can ask anybody who is in this industry.
Right.
And we are creating different solution, which solution are not heard of in the global supply chain context also.
Okay.
So
Now we need to decide, we need to evaluate as to how much automation we can actually use in our warehouses. It's not as simple as you know, just deciding that is it cost effective. The time has now come where we need to look even beyond the cost economics. For sure, you know, initially costs will be high of implementing automation. But the way we see it is that the net gains in terms of productivity, efficiency, accuracy will far outweigh what we currently do as a manual and traditional system of packing.
Which of these technologies developments that you heard of today, you know, things like the pallet shuttle or the auto store, what do you think will be really the tipping point for Indian warehouse management?
So again, it depends on the problem we are trying to solve. But for instance, in the case of unloading, conveyor belts can be used to improve the efficiency.
Right.
When it comes to, I think, to me, the critical aspect of the warehouse is the picking, accuracy of picking.
Right.
So which can be sorted by various number of automation. Of course, we're talking about the high end being robotics, manage the picking. But then there is also simple technologies like voice picking or pick to lights, which can be easily implemented to help in terms of accuracy and efficiency.
Right. How with us, Mr. Sandeep Bansal, who is the Chief Business Officer of Falcon Autotech. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time. You made some very interesting points in the panel discussion, and of course, you are one of the leading providers of such automation solutions. Tell us about the large trends and the signals that you're picking up in the market. This again, FM Logistics being the backdrop of this whole development for the industry.
So I think I already kind of spoke about those trends during my panel discussion, that there are 4 key trends which are shaping up the automation in today's India economy. Right. One is the labor cost, which is continuously moving up.
Right.
Second is your warehouse rentals, which are again continuously moving up.
Yes.
And then there is an increasing competitive pressure which is happening because of the new age companies which are coming up in the market, and the consumer preferences, the way buying cycle of consumers are changing. And amalgamation of these 4 trends are basically shaping up what automation needs to look like in India in next 4 to 5 years.
Right. And Loic, who's the Group Automation Director of FM, a lot of changes happening on ground zero, and you're clearly spearheading a bulk of those changes. So tell us about the key trends that you are following in, and do you feel such capital intensive technology, which has so far not been readily consumed by the Indian market, is now making inroads in the way it was envisaged?
Yes, indeed. Today we have several topics to cover, because we have, as I mentioned just in the presentation, the unit picking, the pallet picking, and we are looking for more flexibility and scalability in the solutions.
Right.
So just a question to how to measure the right level of automation, because we see a lot of things. There is a lot of automation available on the Indian market, so this is not an issue at all today. And now the question is how to identify the correct level. So we are discussing with the customer, we are discussing with all the suppliers in order to share the best practice coming from our experience, coming from the Indian experience from suppliers, and for sure to listen about the strategy for customer, and to create somehow the good compromise between all the parties.
Right. Yeah. So what other such value additions do you really commend from that association?
So the idea would be, we all talk about warehouse automation as such, but it's not an easy game in India. Obviously, the return of investment for any company to invest in automation and it's very difficult.
Right.
So for me, it would be a graduated approach. So right now, the order retrieval is semi-automatic. We have barcode scanners. We don't do manual picking. It's all automated pickup. But when and how it will change to a robo picking up is,
that journey you are.
That's a journey.
Right.